I want to share with you today what I consider to be the strangest secret in the world. A secret so profound yet so simple that when you truly grasp its essence, your life will transform in ways you never thought possible. Success. What is success? Have you ever wondered why one person is successful while another person, seemingly with the same opportunities, education, and background, fails? Let me tell you something remarkable. Only about 5% of people achieve what could be called genuine success. I'm talking about financial independence, fulfilling relationships, and a deep sense of purpose and accomplishment. Look around you. In any office building, on any street corner, in any neighborhood across this great nation, you'll see people going about their daily lives. Most of them, 95% to be exact, are not living up to their full potential. They're settling for less than what they're capable of achieving. And here's the puzzling part: they know it. The strangest secret is hidden in plain sight, much like the air we breathe. We see its effects everywhere, yet most people never recognize it. Here it is: we become what we think about. That's right, your dominant thoughts shape your reality. Everything you are today, your circumstances, your relationships, your bank account, is the direct result of your thoughts. Think about a farmer planting a seed. That farmer knows with absolute certainty what kind of crop will grow. Plant corn, get corn. Plant wheat, get wheat. The human mind works in exactly the same way. Plant success-oriented thoughts, and you'll harvest success. Plant worry, doubt, and fear, and that's exactly what you'll get. Let me share a story with you. Years ago, I met two young men who started their careers on the same day, at the same company with the same salary. 20 years later, one was a manager of a small department, making a modest salary, constantly worried about job security. The other had become the president of a successful company, earning 5 times as much. What made the difference? Their thoughts. The successful executive had decided early on that he would be exceptional at whatever he did. He thought about growth, opportunity, and contribution. The department manager spent 20 years thinking about security, avoiding mistakes, and just getting by. Both men got exactly what they thought about most. Consider this: every great achievement in human history began as a thought in someone's mind. The Wright brothers thought about flying before they built their first airplane. Thomas Edison thought about the electric light before he created it. Your thoughts are the blueprint for your life. But here's where most people go wrong. They spend their lives reacting to circumstances instead of creating them. They're like ships without rudders, blown about by every wind of circumstance. They think about what they don't want instead of what they do want. They focus on their fears instead of their dreams. Let me be very clear about something. The world doesn't care about your circumstances. It doesn't care where you came from, what your parents did, or what limitations you think you have. The world responds to what you do, and what you do springs from what you think about most of the time. Your mind is like a garden. You are the gardener. You can cultivate success, happiness, and achievement, or you can let the weeds of doubt, fear, and mediocrity take over. The choice, and it is a choice, is entirely yours. Here's a powerful exercise for the next 30 days. Start each morning with a clear picture of what you want to become. See yourself as the person you aspire to be. Feel the emotions associated with achieving your goals. Make this image as vivid and detailed as possible. Throughout the day, when challenges arise, and they will, return to this image. When someone criticizes you, when an obstacle appears, when doubt creeps in, return to your chosen thoughts. This isn't positive thinking. This is selective thinking. You're choosing what seeds to plant in your mental garden. Most people never realize that their thoughts are setting the course of their lives. They wake up, go to work, come home, watch television, and go to bed, never once considering that they're programming their future with every thought they entertain. Let me tell you about success itself. Success isn't a destination, it's a journey. It's not something you achieve and then stop. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. If you're working toward a goal you've set for yourself, you're successful right now. The moment you begin moving toward your goal, you become successful. This brings us to another crucial point: goals. You must have goals. Without goals, you're like an archer without a target. You might be the best archer in the world, but without a target, your skill means nothing. Your goals must be specific, written down, and reviewed regularly. The human mind is remarkable. When you give it a definite target, it starts working in ways you can't consciously understand to move you toward that target. But here's the key: you must maintain your focus. You must think about your goal every day, preferably several times a day. Consider this: everything in your room, everything you can see right now began as a thought in someone's mind. The chair you're sitting in, the clothes you're wearing, the building you're in, all started as thoughts. Your life works the same way. What you think about consistently becomes your reality. But there's a catch, and this is where most people fail. They let their thoughts be dictated by their circumstances instead of using their thoughts to create their circumstances. They look at their current situation and think, this is just the way things are. That's a recipe for staying exactly where you are. Instead, you must think about where you want to go, regardless of where you are now. If you're broke, think about abundance. If you're lonely, think about meaningful relationships. If you're stuck in a dead-end job, think about doing work that inspires you. Now, some people will say this is unrealistic. They'll tell you to face reality. But what is reality? Reality is simply the result of past thoughts and actions. Your current reality was created by your past thinking. Your future reality will be created by your present thinking. Let me give you another example. I know a woman who started her own business with nothing but an idea. She had no money, no formal education beyond high school, and no business experience. What she did have was a clear picture in her mind of what she wanted to create. She thought about it constantly. She planned, she visualized, she took action based on her thoughts. Today, her company employs over 50 people and generates millions in revenue. Was she unrealistic when she started? By most people's standards, absolutely. But she understood the strangest secret: we become what we think about. The quality of your life is not determined by your circumstances, but by your thoughts about your circumstances. Two people can face the exact same situation and respond entirely differently based on their thoughts. One sees an opportunity, the other sees an obstacle. One thinks about solutions, the other thinks about problems. This brings us to another vital point. Your thoughts must be aligned with action. Thinking alone isn't enough. You must act on your thoughts. But here's the beautiful thing: when you consistently think about your goals, taking action becomes natural and inevitable. Think about learning to drive a car. At first, it required conscious thought for every action, but with practice, it became automatic. Success works the same way. When you consistently think about your goals, taking the necessary actions becomes as natural as breathing. Your thoughts are like a magnet, drawing to you the people, circumstances, and opportunities that match them. When you think consistently about growth, achievement, and contribution, you'll find yourself noticing opportunities you previously missed. You'll attract people who can help you achieve your goals. You'll discover resources you didn't know existed. But remember this: thoughts alone are not enough. They must be combined with unwavering faith and persistent action. You must believe in your ability to achieve your goals, and you must take consistent action toward them, regardless of temporary setbacks or obstacles. Most people give up too easily. They let temporary defeats become permanent failures. They allow the opinions of others to override their own dreams and aspirations. They let their thoughts be dominated by what they don't want instead of what they do want. Here's a fundamental truth: the world will pay you what you're worth, and your worth is determined by your contribution. The size of your contribution is determined by your thoughts. If you think small, you'll contribute little and earn accordingly. If you think big, if you think about how you can add more value, solve bigger problems, serve more people, your earnings will reflect that. Let me share another principle that few people understand. Your income tends to stabilize at the level of your self-image. If you think of yourself as worth $50,000 a year, that's about what you'll earn, even if you temporarily earn more. To permanently increase your income, you must first increase your self-image through your thoughts. This isn't about positive thinking or wishful thinking. This is about aligned thinking, aligning your thoughts with your goals and aspirations. It's about thinking in ways that support your growth rather than limit it. Consider your daily thought patterns. What do you think about most often? Are you thinking about what you want or what you don't want? Are you thinking about where you're going or where you've been? Are you thinking about possibilities or limitations? The average person spends more time thinking about what they're going to have for dinner than they do about their life goals. They spend more time thinking about their problems than about solutions. They spend more time thinking about what's wrong than what's right. This brings us to another crucial aspect of the strangest secret, gratitude. The most successful people I know maintain an attitude of gratitude. They're thankful for what they have while working toward what they want. This attitude of gratitude keeps them positive and productive, even when facing challenges. Your thoughts create your expectations, and your expectations influence your actions. If you expect to fail, you'll find a way to fail. If you expect to succeed, you'll find a way to succeed. This isn't magic, it's the way your brain is wired. Think about this, your brain processes millions of bits of information every second, but you're only consciously aware of a tiny fraction of this information. What determines which information reaches your conscious awareness? Your dominant thoughts and beliefs. If you believe opportunities are scarce, you'll notice evidence that supports this belief. If you believe opportunities are abundant, you'll notice evidence that supports that belief instead. Both beliefs can be true for different people because we tend to find what we're looking for. This is why it's so crucial to guard your thoughts carefully. Every thought is a seed that will grow into something. Are you planting seeds of success or seeds of failure? Seeds of abundance or seeds of lack? Seeds of happiness or seeds of misery? The good news is that you can change your thought patterns at any time. You're not stuck with the thoughts you have now. You can choose new thoughts, better thoughts, more empowering thoughts. But you must be deliberate about it. Start each day with purposeful thinking. Before you check your phone, before you turn on the news, before you get caught up in the day's activities, take time to think about what you want to achieve. Visualize your goals. Feel the emotions of achieving them. Throughout the day, when you catch yourself thinking limiting thoughts, gently redirect your mind to what you want. This isn't about suppressing negative thoughts, it's about replacing them with more productive ones. Remember, your thoughts are the one thing you have complete control over. No one can think your thoughts for you. No one can force you to think in ways that don't serve you. This is your power, and it's absolute. Use this power wisely. Think about what you want, not what you don't want. Think about where you're going, not where you've been. You think about what you can do, not what you can't do. Think about the person you're becoming, not the person you've been. The strangest secret is always working, whether you're aware of it or not. Your thoughts are always creating your future. The question is, are you choosing your thoughts, or are they choosing you? Take control of your thoughts, and you take control of your life. It's that simple and that profound. The strangest secret has been working in your life all along. Now that you understand it, you can use it deliberately to create the life you truly desire. Your future is not determined by your past, your education, your circumstances, or what others think is possible for you. Your future is determined by what you think about most of the time. Choose your thoughts wisely, for they are creating your tomorrow. This is the strangest secret, hidden in plain sight, available to anyone who understands and applies it. Use it wisely, use it consistently, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. Remember, success is not an accident. It's the result of thinking and acting in specific ways. The thoughts you hold in your mind today are creating your future. Make them count. Make them worthy of the life you want to create. Let me share with you what happens when you truly embrace and apply this principle in your daily existence. Consider for a moment the power of compound interest in financial matters. If you invest a small sum regularly and let it compound over time, it grows into something substantial. Your thoughts work exactly the same way. Each thought you have is like making a deposit in the bank of your future. Let me tell you about George, a man I met several years ago. George was working as a janitor, barely making ends meet. But George understood something profound. He understood the strangest secret. Every day while performing his duties, he thought about owning his own building maintenance company. He didn't just daydream, he thought specifically about how he would run it, how he would treat his employees, how he would serve his clients. Within 3 years, George had started his own company. Within 5 years, he had contracts with some of the largest buildings in his city. Today, his company employs over 200 people. What changed? Not his circumstances, at least not at first. What changed were his thoughts. You see, most people live in a state of continuous reaction. Something happens and they react. Another thing happens, and they react again. They're like leaves in the wind, blown about by circumstances. But successful people, people who understand the strangest secret, live in a state of continuous creation. They don't wait for circumstances to determine their thoughts. They use their thoughts to determine their circumstances. Think about this. Every invention, every business, every achievement began as a thought in someone's mind. The computer or phone you're using right now, it started as a thought. The chair you're sitting in, a thought. The business you work for, it began as a thought in someone's mind. But here's what most people don't understand about the power of thought. It must be sustained. Occasional positive thinking won't create lasting change any more than occasional exercise will get you on shape. Your dominant thoughts, the ones you return to again and again, are what shape your life. Let me give you a practical example. Have you ever bought a new car and suddenly started seeing that same model everywhere? Did all those cars suddenly appear on the road? Of course not. They were there all along, but you didn't notice them because you weren't thinking about them. When you started thinking about that particular car, your mind began noticing what was already there. Opportunities work the same way. They're all around us, all the time. But we only notice the ones that match our dominant thoughts. If you think consistently about growth and opportunity, you'll begin noticing opportunities that have been there all along. This brings us to another crucial point. The relationship between thoughts and emotions. Your thoughts create your emotions, and your emotions drive your actions. If you want to change your actions, start by changing your thoughts. Most people have this backwards. They wait to feel motivated before taking action. They wait to feel confident before pursuing opportunities. They wait to feel successful before thinking like a successful person. But that's not how it works. Your thoughts come first, then your emotions, then your actions. Think about learning to swim. You can't learn to swim by standing on the edge of the pool thinking about swimming. You have to get in the water. But here's the key. Your thoughts about swimming will determine whether you get in the water at all, and how you respond once you're in. The same principle applies to every area of your life. Your thoughts about money determine your financial destiny. Your thoughts about relationships determine the quality of your connections with others. Your thoughts about your capabilities determine what you'll attempt and achieve. Let me share something profound about the nature of thought itself. Your conscious mind can only hold one thought at a time. This means you have the power to choose that thought. When a negative thought enters your mind, you can replace it with a positive one. When a limiting thought appears, you can replace it with an empowering one. This isn't about positive thinking in the sense of denying reality. It's about selective thinking, choosing thoughts that serve your growth and achievement while discarding those that don't. It's about thinking in ways that expand your possibilities rather than limit them. Consider this: every successful person has faced obstacles, setbacks, and failures. What sets them apart isn't the absence of problems, it's how they think about those problems. They think in terms of solutions, opportunities, and growth. They ask better questions. What can I learn from this? How can I use this? What's the opportunity here? Your mind is like a supercomputer, and your thoughts are the programs you run on it. If you run programs of limitation, doubt, and fear, that's what your mind will create in your life. If you run programs of possibility, growth, and achievement, that's what you'll create instead. But here's something crucial to understand. Your thoughts must be in harmony with universal laws. You can't think your way to success while violating principles like integrity, service, and contribution. The most sustainable success comes from thinking about how you can add value to others' lives. And think about the most successful people you know or have read about. What distinguishes them isn't just their achievements, it's their thinking. They think bigger. They think longer term. They think about contribution rather than just acquisition. They think about solving problems rather than avoiding them. This brings us to another vital aspect of the strangest secret, the importance of specialized knowledge. Your thoughts must be combined with learning and skill development. But here's the key: your thoughts determine what you learn and how you apply what you learn. I've met people with multiple degrees who achieve little because their thoughts are focused on security and avoiding failure. I've also met people with minimal formal education who achieve remarkable success because their thoughts are focused on growth and contribution. Your thoughts determine what you do with what you know. Two people can learn the same information and get completely different results based on how they think about and apply that information. Consider this: every day, you have approximately 60,000 thoughts. Most of these are the same thoughts you had yesterday and the day before and the day before that. This is why most people's lives stay the same year after year. To change your life, you must change your habitual thoughts. Start paying attention to your thought patterns. What do you think about when you first wake up? What occupies your mind during your daily commute? What do you think about before you go to sleep? These habitual thoughts are creating your future. Remember, the strangest secret isn't just about thinking, it's about thinking and acting. But proper thinking makes proper action almost automatic. When you think consistently about your goals, you'll find yourself naturally taking actions that move you toward them. Your thoughts are like a lighthouse, guiding your actions toward your desired destination. Without clear, purposeful thoughts, you're like a ship without a compass, drifting wherever the currents take you. Let me share another powerful truth: your thoughts have no limitations. You can think as big or as small as you choose. You can think about local success or global impact. You can think about making a living or making a difference. The choice is yours, and that choice will determine your destiny. Think about your current situation, whatever it may be. Every aspect of it, your job, your relationships, your bank account, your health, began with thoughts. More importantly, your future circumstances are being shaped right now by your current thoughts. Let me tell you about Sarah, a woman I met who transformed her life through the power of directed thinking. Sarah was working in a small retail store, barely making minimum wage. But instead of thinking about her limitations, she began thinking about how she could add more value to her customers' lives. She started thinking about their problems, their needs, their desires. She thought about solutions, about better ways to serve them. Within 6 months, she had developed such a loyal customer following that she was promoted to manager. Within 2 years, she had opened her own boutique. Today, she owns a chain of successful stores across 3 states. What changed first? Her thoughts. She didn't wait for circumstances to change. She changed her thoughts, which changed her actions, which changed her circumstances. This brings us to a crucial point about the nature of thought and achievement. Most people think success is about having the right opportunities. But successful people understand that opportunities are created by thought. Your thoughts determine which opportunities you recognize and which ones you're prepared to seize. Consider this: in any given situation, there are always multiple possible responses. The response you choose is determined by your thoughts. If you think about problems, you'll see problems. If you think about solutions, you'll see solutions. If you think about opportunities, you'll see opportunities. Let me share something profound about the relationship between thoughts and time. Your thoughts exist in the present, but they create your future. Most people spend their present moments thinking about past problems or worrying about future difficulties. This is like trying to drive a car while looking only in the rearview mirror. Instead, use your present thoughts to create the future you desire. Think about where you want to go, who you want to become, what you want to achieve. These thoughts, held consistently in the present, become the blueprint for your future. But here's something crucial to understand: your thoughts must be specific. Vague thoughts create vague results. I want to be successful is not specific enough. I want to build $1 million business, helping people improve their health through natural methods. That's specific. That's the kind of thought that creates results. Your mind requires clear instructions. Think about using a GPS. You can't just enter somewhere nice as your destination. You need specific coordinates. Your thoughts work the same way. The more specific your thoughts about what you want to achieve, the more likely you are to achieve it. Consider the difference between someone who thinks, "I want to make more money," and someone who thinks, "I want to increase my income to $120,000 per year by creating valuable solutions for my clients' biggest challenges." The second person's thoughts contain direction, purpose, and method. They're actionable thoughts. This brings us to another vital aspect of the strangest secret, the importance of written goals. When you write down your goals, you're doing something powerful with your thoughts. You're taking them from the invisible realm of mind and bringing them into the visible realm of physical reality. Every day, you should review your written goals. This keeps your thoughts aligned with your objectives. It programs your subconscious mind to recognize and act on opportunities that will move you toward your goals. But here's where most people go wrong. They let their thoughts be influenced by temporary circumstances. They have a setback and they start thinking about failure. They face an obstacle and they start thinking about giving up. They encounter criticism and they start thinking about their limitations. Successful people maintain their success-oriented thoughts regardless of temporary circumstances. They understand that circumstances are effects, not causes. The cause is thought. Change your thoughts, and you change the cause, which inevitably changes the effects. Think about building a house. Before the first nail is hammered, before the first brick is laid, the house exists complete in someone's thoughts. The blueprint is just a physical representation of those thoughts. Your life works the same way. Your thoughts are the blueprint for your future. Let me share another powerful truth about thoughts and achievement. Your thoughts determine your perception of time. When you think about long-term goals and big achievements, time becomes your ally. When you think about immediate gratification and quick fixes, time becomes your enemy. Most people overestimate what they can achieve in a year and underestimate what they can achieve in 5 years. Why? Because their thoughts are too short-term. They're thinking about immediate results instead of sustainable growth. Consider this. Every significant achievement in history took time. But before the time was invested, someone had to think it was possible. Someone had to hold the thought of achievement despite delays, setbacks, and temporary failures. Your thoughts also determine your resilience. When you think about obstacles, opportunities to learn and grow, you become resilient. When you think about obstacles as reasons to quit, you become fragile. The obstacle doesn't change. Your thoughts about it do. This brings us to another crucial aspect of the strangest secret, the importance of service-oriented thoughts. The most sustainable success comes from thinking about how you can serve others, how you can solve problems, how you can add value. Most people think primarily about what they can get. Successful people think primarily about what they can give. This difference in thinking makes all the difference in results. They think about the most successful companies in the world. They didn't become successful by thinking about how to take money from people. They became successful by thinking about how to solve problems and add value to people's lives. The same principle applies to individual success. When you think about how you can serve, how you can contribute, how you can make things better for others, you activate the full power of the strangest secret. Remember, your thoughts are not just creating your future, they're creating your present experience as well. The way you think about what's happening right now determines your experience of it. Two people can face the same situation and have completely different experiences based on their thoughts about it. This is why it's so crucial to maintain control of your thoughts regardless of external circumstances. Your circumstances may be beyond your immediate control, but your thoughts about those circumstances are always within your control. Let me share something powerful about the relationship between thoughts and habits. Your habits are simply thoughts that you've thought so often they've become automatic. Want to change your habits? Start by changing your thoughts. Most people try to change their habits through willpower alone, but willpower is limited. Thoughts, properly directed and maintained, are unlimited. When you change your thoughts about who you are and what you do, your habits change naturally. Consider this: every major achievement in your life began with a thought. Every significant change began with a thought. Every breakthrough began with a thought. The question is, what thoughts are you choosing now? What future are you creating with your current thoughts? Your thoughts are like seeds. Plant them carefully, nurture them consistently, and they will grow into the reality you desire. But you must be patient. Just as a farmer doesn't dig up the seeds every day to check their progress, you must trust the process of thought creation. Consider the profound implication of this truth. If you consistently think about growth, learning, and achievement, you'll naturally take actions that lead to growth, learning, and achievement. If you consistently think about problems, limitations, and failures, you'll naturally take actions that reinforce those thoughts. Let me share one final story about Michael, a person who grasped this principle completely. Michael was born into poverty, had minimal education, and faced numerous obstacles. But he understood something crucial: his circumstances didn't have to determine his thoughts. Instead of thinking about his limitations, Michael thought about possibilities. Instead of thinking about what he lacked, he thought about what he could create. Instead of thinking about his problems, he thought about solutions. Today, Michael runs several successful businesses and has helped thousands of others improve their lives. What made the difference? His thoughts. He chose to think differently than his circumstances suggested he should. This brings us to the final key point about the strangest secret. Your thoughts must be backed by faith. Not blind faith, but faith based on understanding. Faith that the universe operates according to law. Faith that causes produce effects. Faith that thoughts become things. Consider this carefully. Everything you can see around you was once invisible. Every building, every device, every organization began as a thought in someone's mind. The visible world is constantly being created from the invisible world of thought. But here's the crucial distinction. Not all thoughts are created equal. Weak, scattered, unfocused thoughts produce weak, scattered, unfocused results. Strong, consistent, focused thoughts produce strong, consistent, focused results. Your job, if you want to create the life you desire, is to cultivate and maintain strong, consistent, focused thoughts about what you want to create. Not just occasionally, not just when you feel inspired, but consistently, day after day, regardless of circumstances. Remember these final points. Your thoughts are creative forces, constantly shaping your future. You have the power to choose your thoughts. What you think about consistently will manifest in your life. Circumstances don't determine your thoughts determine your circumstances. Success begins with success-oriented thinking. The challenge now is to apply this knowledge. Start today. Choose your thoughts carefully. Monitor them constantly. Direct them purposefully. Your future depends on it. Begin by thinking about what you truly want to create in your life. Think about it clearly. Think about it specifically. Think about it consistently. Then watch as the power of the strangest secret begins to work in your life. Remember, this isn't just positive thinking, it's directed thinking. It's purposeful thinking. It's thinking aligned with universal laws and backed by appropriate action. The choice is yours. You can continue thinking the way you've always thought, and you'll continue getting the results you've always gotten. Or you can choose to think differently, think bigger, think better, and watch as your life transforms to match your thoughts. The strangest secret is no longer strange to you. You understand it. You know how it works. Now it's time to use it. Your future is waiting to be created by your thoughts. Thank you for your attention. The power is now in your hands. Use it wisely, use it consistently, and watch as the magic of directed thinking transforms your life.